everyone, welcome to Becky's Crafts and Goodies. Today we're going to do another little craft using my Cricut machine, and we're going to use some of the HTV, the heat transfer vinyl as well. So I just bought this top from Primark. It was so cheap. You can get all sorts of cheap t-shirts, sweatshirts, that sort of thing. And I've got this fluorescent vinyl. Now I'll put the link for where I got this in the description down below if you wanted to pop on and buy some yourself. In this pack you get 5 sheets and it's 12 by 10 and it's the fluorescent vinyl bundle. So you get 2 of the pink, you get an orange, a yellow and a green. So they're the colours that we're going to do, and I thought that would look really cool against the black. I just thought it'd stand out a little bit more. So what we're going to do now is we'll go over to our computer and we'll start and open up the Cricut design space. Right, so we're on the design space now, and what you need to do down these this little menu section here, there's a part that says images. So if you click on images, and then I'm just going to type love in the search bar, and then you can scroll down and see which you like the best. Now I'm actually subscribed to the Cricut design space. You just have to pay like a monthly fee. So I get most of these for free. There are some that you have to actually pay for, but all these that you're looking at now are actually free, and you can tell they're free because it says subscribed at the bottom. So I'm just going to scroll down and pick which one I want. Now I did have a look at these yesterday, so I know which one I'm going to use. I'm just looking for it. So this is the one I'm going to use. Now take no notice of the black lettering and the colours that the heart is at the moment. You can do it exactly the same and it will work it all out for you if you want to do that. But I'm going to change the colours with the fluorescent vinyl. So you click on that, so there's a little green line around it, and then you click down the bottom here, insert images. And then that will bring it onto this canvas. Now, if you want to, you can actually put a template down. So you've got templates here, which is in this top corner, and it gives you an idea of measuring it out. But you don't really need to do that. If you know the size of the vinyl that you want to cut out, and the best way to do that is to actually get the item you're doing it with and just measure it, and it tells you the size at the top there. So it says that that's 5.7 and that's 2 inches down the side. And to make it bigger, you can use the little bars at the top here, or you can actually just pull this down just like that. Excuse me, and you can just make it as big as you want, like that, 6 inches, and then you just can move it to 6.5 or 7. Now I think I'm going to do about a 6.5 because I want it to be quite big on the top, so I want you to be able to see it. So what we're going to do now is we are going to change the colours of these, and you don't need to change them, but it just helps you to sort of work out, you know, exactly how it's going to look. So down the side here, we've got all the bits that are all separate. So we're going to click on the separate part. So this is the L, the V and the E. So if we click on that and then we move to the top here, and then you click the colour, we can change it to whatever colours we want. Now they do like a basic amount of colours here, but if you click on advanced at the bottom, it gives you some more. And if you look along here, there are some fluorescent colours. So just to give me a bit of an idea, I am going to get it as fluorescent-y looking as I can. I know it's not going to be exactly the same, but it just gives you a bit of an idea. So I thought we could do that one in the pink. We've got quite a lot of pink, and Phoebe likes pink. And then what I thought we could maybe do is change these colours to the other colours that we've got. So I'll just pull them in just to remind you. I mean, that's a different pink to what we've got, but it gives you an idea. So that will be the pink. And then what about if we do these colours in the heart? I thought that would look quite nice. So I'm going to change the top one, and we'll do that like an orangey colour. So we'll click down here. Again, we're not going to be able to get the exact colour, but it just gives you an idea of what you're going to be doing. And what should we go for? Yellow next. So we'll just change these. So I'm just going to click on these, and just to give us a little bit of an idea exactly what it's going to look like. And for every single one, you just click the side and then you click the top as well. But luckily there are actually fluorescent-y colours to choose from. So I'll finish doing all those hearts and then I'll show you what to do next. Right, so I've done all those. I'll pop my vinyl down there for a second. And then once we've done that, we're going to click Make It. Make It's in the top corner up there, and I'm just going to click Make It. And it tells you what colours to put on what mat, and it'll also tell you what size it's cutting out as well, because it's got the markers around the side. So for this particular project, I'm going to need 4 different mats. And when you're doing heat transfer iron-on vinyl, always remember that you need to mirror each side, each piece and each mat, right? So you just click the mirror button there, and then it swaps it round, so when you're actually putting it on, it comes out exactly the same way. And just make sure that you mirror all the mats as well. So what we need to do is to get our Cricut mat out, and we'll put our first colour, which is the orange, onto the mat. So that's that started. We'll open that up, and I've got my green. I'm using my green mat here, and when we put the vinyl on, we need to put the shiny side down. So get your vinyl sheet, and what we're going to do is use the guidelines. I'll lift it up so you can see. We're going to put it so it's in this top corner like that. Let me move the camera down a bit so you can see. That's it. So just stick that on there. It doesn't have to be exact this bit, but there or thereabouts. Just make sure it's high enough up so it doesn't start cutting too low. Just stick that onto the sheet like that, and then we're going to feed it into our Cricut machine, and it will actually grab it, so you don't have to push it in too far. And then over on the computer, let me just turn this round, we're going to click continue on the computer, and it's connecting to it all. Now on the dial of the Cricut, there are different settings that you can do, different custom settings. So if you've got it on custom, it brings you up with a big sort of list of things that you can use. You can also click browse all materials, but I've actually got a setting on mine which says iron on. I'll show you that. If you see here, this is the dial. You just put it to iron on like that, and it will tell you exactly. So I was looking through the camera then I couldn't see, and it will tell you exactly you know how thick to cut it. There's a normal one for vinyl as well, but because we're using the iron on vinyl, we'll click it to iron on. And now the arrows are flashing, and that will tell us that we need to press the button there. And what it will do is the Cricut will pull it through, and it will start and cut it. Press the C, and then you're just talking to the Cricut from your computer, and it will cut out the orange shapes. And once you've done that, you then start and you just load the next mat in exactly the same way, and it talks it through every time, and you need to make sure you mirror every mat. So once it's done, just press the arrow again, and it will pull it through. And I don't know if you can see, there's not much on here, it's really faint, but it's already cut out on there. So to take it off, I'm going to bend, let me move the camera down again. I'm going to turn the mat over, and rather than bending the vinyl, I'm going to bend the mat. So I'm just going to pull it off like that, and then we'll be able to load up the next one. And all I'm going to do is I'll just cut very gently around here so we can save all of this vinyl for another project. Right, so now we've got all of our pieces, and what we're going to do now is to weed out the bits that we don't want. So if you look, I don't know if you can see it on here because it's really, really faint, but you can get these little tools from Cricut, and all you need to do is to find a little section. So you just have to pull up the vinyl, and what we're doing is we're taking away the outside bit, and all we'll have left is the letters. So this is quite a big bit that will be taken off. You just very carefully pull it, and this comes away quite easy actually. It's quite nice vinyl, so, and I love the colour. It's so bright, and yeah, it's really, really nice. So we'll take those out, and then because we flipped it, it will come around the right way. And obviously the heart that we're doing will fill in this little gap here. So that's all sorted for us. So be really careful with that. You can actually put that on some of the transfer clear sticky stuff if you want to, but because we're doing it right now, it won't matter. So I'm just going to weed out these little sections and then we'll move over to the top. Right, so what you want to do to start with is to heat up your top or the thing that you're using. Now, I'm just using a normal iron. I do want to get an easy press, a Cricut easy press, but I'm just saving up for that at the moment because they're not cheap. So I do actually want to get one of those. So you just heat up the area that you're putting them. And a good way to get the centre is to fold your top in half. Let's just open those out. And then very lightly just fold an iron down that crease, and that will give you the centre. So open it back up and you will see, I mean, luckily with this top, we've actually got a mark here, like a bit of the stitching, so we can actually see it. But that's a little tip that you can use. So what we're going to do to start with is, because I measured out the size that I want, we kind of know how it's going to look. Don't put them too close to the top. Obviously you've just got to think that this is going to be worn, so kind of work it out. You could even put the top on and work out where you want it to sit. I'm just going to grab some baking paper, parchment paper, and we're going to use this when we've actually put our vinyl on. So we're going to do it in stages. So to start with, we'll put our biggest piece on, which is the love. And I think I'm going to pop it around about there. And then we'll get our parchment paper and put that over the top. And that will just protect it, and it'll also protect the iron. Now, I'm just using a normal bog standard iron. You have to switch the steam off and have it down quite low, not as low as it will go, but actually quite low. You don't want it to be hot and to sort of scorch it. Now, the good thing with the Cricut Easy Press is it does most of the working out for you. But if you don't have one, then do what I'm doing and just use a normal iron. And then all you have to do is to get your iron and bring it over the top, and you're basically heating up the transfer vinyl, and that will transfer that then onto your top. If you find that it's not sort of hot enough, you can also turn up your iron and just kind of work it like that. So you just go over. With the Easy Press, it sort of sets a timer for you and works it all out, but you probably, I mean, this is an estimate, maybe looking at about 15 seconds, and just make sure you get all of the corners and stuff. But again, the heat, the amount of time that you leave it on will depend how hot your iron is. So what you can do is do it, lift it up, and you can just sort of start and peel it and see if it's coming away. And this is coming away really, really easily. You just have to make sure you've done it enough, but don't do it too much. Now, yeah, I think that's stuck on quite nicely. Also, be careful when you peel them off, because some vinyls are hot peel and some are sort of cool. But that is looking really, really nice. We're going to put down our little section now. So this is the heart in the middle. So try and get that in the centre there. Now, be careful when you're ironing over the top, because what you don't want to do is put your iron on and then it to damage this part. So what I often do is I often save like little bits of this and just sort of use that as a little bit of a protection for the rest of them as well. So we'll do that, and we really want to try, if we can, and just heat the part that we're using, but we just want to protect the vinyl that's underneath as well. Lift up the paper, then lift that up underneath, and then we've got the start of our heart there. And then all we do is go, I think there's a tiny, tiny little gap in the design so you can see the black through. You see what I mean? I think there's a small gap. I'm going to try and not put the transfer onto there, and be really careful not to really touch it with the iron. So I'm just going to do this for the rest of the design, and then I'll show you when I've finished. And here we go. So this is the last one. We'll just peel that off. And that is our design finished. But how cool does that look? I love this fluorescent vinyl. It's just so different. And it just shows that you can just get cheap t-shirts, cheap tops, sweatshirts, anything like that. And you can literally put anything on the top. You can go onto the Cricut design space and you can just type whatever text you want. If I wanted to put Phoebe's name over the front of that, then I could have just done exactly the same thing. You know, you can do anything. They're fantastic. So if you want to buy any of this vinyl, I'll put the link for this, for the one that I've used and the one that the company sent me, in the description. So if you want to pop on and order some of that, then you can do. So, and this top was just a cheap top from Primark, and it just goes to show what you can make and what you can create. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I've also got another vinyl video coming up for you next week. That's using the HTV vinyl as well, and we're going to be using pinks and blacks and some sparkly vinyl within that on a t-shirt, so keep an eye out for that. Now if you haven't already subscribed, then please do. We do lots of different videos, we keep a nice big mix, and I do love my Cricut machine as well. So that's it for me. I hope you're all okay, and I will see you all again soon. You take care. Bye for now.